Let's go, people. The Chosen podcast is back. We're in person. How'd you feel?
I feel like I didn't just match your energy.
You got time, my friend.
You nearly jumped out of the chair and I was just here a bit like, yeah, welcome back.
Yeah, I've got to be with him for half an hour, jeez.
No, mate, it's been a while. What has it been? It's been over a year.
It's been a long time. Adult life has got in the way, but here we are again, making use of our time, bringing it back. Hoping to make some frequent content from now on for you guys and for us, because we enjoy it.
I agree.
Right? First and foremost, mate, before we even get started with the whole thing, I need to ask you a question. And with this question, I need your honest answer.
No, I don't fancy you, Mark.
Fuck it. You have to listen to the question. It's a bit of a crazy question, but just listen to it.
Okay.
Would you rather eat a baby goat or a matter baby?
The hell is a matter baby?
A matter baby?
What's a matter baby?
I'm good, mate. What are you right?
Oh my god.
And with that, that's how we're starting the podcast.
You had totally got me then.
Yeah? What's the matter, baby? I'm good, sugar. What's going on?
When you said matter baby, I was going to say goat anyway, because I was like, I don't want to eat a baby. I'd rather eat a goat than a baby.
Yeah,
oh my god, you got me.
I thought
hook, line and sinker.
You said, what the fuck's a matter, baby? I was like, yeah, so I could probably take that, but it wasn't what I wanted.
Yeah.
What did you say? So there we go. I got you. Do you know what? Thank you for asking that question, mate. I'm actually doing all right.
I don't care now. I don't care. Oh my god.
How's life been, Daniel? Come and talk to me. What's been going on?
Oh mate, listen. In the last year, nothing has changed.
Still a family man.
Still, yeah.
Yeah.
They're still going. A couple of them have got a cold at the moment. So
oh man, it goes round. I'm telling you, this
it's
time of year.
the dreaded flu season, isn't it? But no, not really much to report, mate. I mean, we talk away from this, but not really much to report. What about yourself?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Busy life, hence why we haven't done this for a long time. Work's been going crazy. I've been writing a lot, as you know. Yeah. On my new short films that I've recently released 2 this year, which has been really good. And I'm on track to make a 3rd, so that's coming very, very soon, which we'll touch base on this in this podcast. But yeah, man, it's smooth. I'm just, I'm trying to utilize my time properly now. Like I was going through a phase where, and this is normal, obviously. I was going through a phase where so much was so busy that I just ended up being quite lazy in my downtime, but like to the point where I could have probably done some stuff with the writing, all that sort of stuff that I could have probably done that I enjoy, or I just wasn't doing that. So there was a lot that I wasn't really fulfilling because I was like work and everything took over. But I'm now slowly changing that into utilizing my time to do what I want to do things like this, keep on writing, keep productive, and just I guess enjoy life in that way. Do you know what I mean? You get sort of stuck in those slumps sometimes, which is normal, but
we all do it.
Yeah, man.
I mean, the worst thing I find is TikTok. I can't get off TikTok,
mate.
And I hate it because it's all rubbish. All the content on there is just drivel, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just
mad. But I can't get off it.
No, because it's so easy just to flick through, and you think because these are short videos, you think, I'll find one that I like soon.
Yeah. But the thing is, I'll spend honestly. I think I could prove it on my screen time. Right, I'll show you. But I'll be there for hours. I'll be like ready to sleep, and then I'll be scrolling. And before you know it, 2 hours has gone by, and you're watching like minute clips or whatever they are.
It's mad how quickly that sort of stuff can really consume your time with. It's mad. Like 2 hours flying by like that is just.
I just want to find my screen time just to tell you. Look, so my daily average at the moment is 8 hours. Well, basically 9 hours. Wow. 8:59.
Yeah.
But I think during the height of COVID, it was like 17 hours. So
that's mad.
But,
there's nothing to do in COVID.
I think it does tell you most used TikTok 10 hours. 10 hours, 10 minutes. I don't know how long this is for. What is this for? It says daily average is 1 hour and 27. So you can see here, look.
Wow.
So Friday I done none.
But yeah.
It's crazy. Look, YouTube, 16 hours, 49 minutes. Oh, this is a week. One. This is a week, by the way.
Oh, it's a week one.
So I've done 10 hours on TikTok this week, but basically 17 hours on YouTube.
Wow, man.
5 hours on Instagram. I mean, I don't even really go on Instagram, but this says differently.
Adds up, doesn't it? Yeah, but it's crazy.
It's nuts. It
Yeah,
really is
really
nuts.
is, man.
No, so I'd get quite addicted to those things. So I understand what you're saying
Yeah.
when you say like you procrastinate.
It's
and
very
stuff.
easy to like get lost in these things that really sort of want to grab your attention, and because there's so much on there that is like you can enjoy and get that small bit of like happiness from watching this
it's like
shit.
a dopamine rush, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Right. Yeah, it's so easy to get caught into that, but the heart is extremely difficult trying to change that kind of routine within your life because it's so easy to do.
I agree.
Isn't it? It's when people that are like smokers and they say it's really hard to stop. One, because of the nicotine, etc., but also because of the habit.
Yeah.
They have this thing in their hand. It's this that they want to carry on doing.
It's the same.
Kind of similar.
It's the same as gambling because I had an issue with gambling, not to any extreme that anyone else. It's like people.
Yeah. No, it's extreme cases. Yeah. No.
But I just noticed it, and thankfully I was able to say stop, and I could do it. So I don't gamble at all.
Yeah.
I mean the lottery, if you count that as gambling. But it probably is technically.
You're not in the casinos or anything.
No,
like that,
but I would do it literally where I was back living at home, and it'd be rent day, and I'd go and get all the rent out to give to my mum, and then I'd go to the bookies and spend it all, and then have to go home and say I don't have it, So I think there was one point where I put like 300 quid into the machine, and I was down to my last 20 quid, and I was like, no, I don't know what I'm going to do. She's going to kill me, right? And I managed to get up to, it was like 310 quid. Wow. And I just managed to go withdraw it, and left. And I don't think I gambled since that day.
Wow.
Because it's not, look, 300 quid is not a lot of money, right? But it's a lot of money to someone who doesn't have it, who's expecting it, so.
No, you're right. It's good that you managed to fight. So let me ask you a question. When you stopped straight away, was it quite easy for you? Because it sounds like you just cut and just didn't do anything after.
I feel like I was very lucky in the sense that for some reason I could just
switch off for that,
but
decide that's it.
There was a point where I was just putting the most stupid bets on. You're betting on like netball in Ukraine. It's like and you're literally just winning nothing because there's no money in it. But I'd literally bet on horses because the name was Arsenal, or something related to something that I like. So I was, that must be a lucky charm.
Well, it's good that you eradicated that quickly.
But I'm very lucky. I mean, I know people that definitely aren't that lucky, but I was very lucky to just say nah.
Yeah, of course. Well, speaking about gambling and taking gambles, you've taken a little gamble yourself recently, mate. Have you not? By creating and writing your own kids'
I
book.
have, mate. And the fact you've said that, I've actually left the book over there. So
listen,
you were going to talk to the mic quickly,
yeah?
And let me grab this.
So I'll give you a little insight, guys, at home. Daniel has created his first kids' book. His very, very, very first one. For the ages between 2 and 4. Yeah, fantastic. So here it is, guys. Let's have a little sneak peek.
So here it is.
It's the first time I've seen it as well in the flesh. So
this is.
Here we go.
Let me show the camera.
Yeah, get it right up there. Get it right up there. That's it. Yeah.
It's called The Adventures of Monty Monkey. It's just a hide and seek book, so it's my first
2 to 4 years of age.
2 to 4, and it's kind of like a learning book for me, as much as it is for kids who just want to. It's a hide and seek book. You can see. I've done all the illustrations and everything.
So this is all you, right? The pictures,
it's all me,
the writing.
Everything was
This is all your idea and your product.
Yeah, but I don't know where it's going with that. Not very good at like promo, am I? Like, No, so there we go.
Let's
you can
have a look.
That's the first time you've seen it. So,
mate, that's great. And do you know what? I'll tell you what. The colours, like about like marketing and advertising, something has to pop out, right? Yeah. You imagine seeing it on the shelf in a kids book, kids store. Yeah. That's popping. That's coming out. That's right out there. That's catching someone's eye for sure. And just for those that are interested in this, it is a wide awake activity book.
Yes. So that was actually an idea of a friend of mine, Jim. So the first person I sort of told was my wife and that sort of stuff.
Of course.
And then Jim had a look at it for me. He's a friend of mine who was on the podcast before. And he read it with his daughter, and he said to me, it's not really a book that you read to send your child to bed.
Yeah.
So he said to me, I think you should put something on there where people know this is an activity book, so it's more of a when you're wide awake. You know, maybe you just got home from school, in between that bit before dinner. You know, all of that sort of stuff.
Of course. It's good to label that because people, you know,
and it was great. It was great for someone to say that to me because it's like, okay, cool.
Good feedback.
You know,
I see at the book. I've just been flicking through. I see at the end of the book there is an activities page.
Yes.
So tell me more about that, Dan.
So it's literally there's a toy on every page that your kids can look for, and you can tick the box to say you found it. There's also a few questions for the kids to answer. They're very basic, you know, questions. It's only for 2 to 4 year olds, you know.
But that's what it's all about, mate, isn't it? Mate, honestly, I think this is such a good idea. And when you presented this to me and you said, "Oh, I've done it," like, you could tell by the voice notes. I was so proud and so happy, like, that you just went for it and just absolutely smashed it.
I think it was. Well, obviously, COVID affected a lot of us in a lot of different ways, right? But I didn't fall into the trap of, oh my God, COVID's going to kill us all, and you know, this sort of thing, right? Not that I disbelieve it before anyone says anything. No,
of course. You just didn't. You had your own opinion on that.
I just thought, okay, this is a flu. You know, it's going to take out some people, but the flu does every year. We should be good. But the way the media done it is they did scare the life out of you, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I was just thinking, if I was to die from COVID, right, and this is very morbid, but if I was to die from COVID, what have I left behind? Now, obviously, my kids is the obvious answer, but what have I left behind for the kids? Nothing other than a few pictures and a couple of memories, but apart from my daughter's 10, the two boys probably won't remember anything because they're too young. So by the time they got to 18, it'd be long forgotten almost, you know. And I kind of wanted to do something where they can say, I was here. I tried something, you know. It doesn't mean I was going out to try and make loads of money. It's literally £4 on Amazon. I think I make 30p of every book. So it's nothing.
There's no profit just as yet.
It was nothing to do with money. It was more that the kids could say, I've been here, I tried something. You know, he tried to do something. And in 10 years' time, had I passed away and they found a book, it'd be like, oh my God, Dad done it, you know, that sort of thing. That's where the whole idea for the book come around.
That's interesting.
For me.
Okay.
And you know me, I've written things before, and I thought, you know, this was a good place to start. And it was a good learning curve, man. The amount of mistakes I made was unreal.
It was. You learn extreme amounts from the process, right? So, you know, I think there's a massive market for kids' books, especially between the ages 2 and 4, especially if it's educational and fun to do, which I think you've got right in this book so far. Obviously, I've not read it, but what you told me, what I've seen, etc. Right?
You say that, it's quite funny, right? Because I kept reading, and I was like, I just don't know if this is very good, right? Even when it was done, and I kept reading it, thinking, I don't know, man. There was something about it. I just thought it's not really. There's something about it, right?
It's not clicking.
And then I read it to my son, and I saw the joy he had in sort of reading it. And Jim, thanks to Jim, his daughter also read it when it was done. And he said the same thing. And I was like, it's because we're looking at it as an adult. So of course it doesn't appeal to us. You know, we're not looking for animals hiding. You know, so of course it doesn't appeal to us. So I was like, okay, you've got to sort of try and look at it, you know, from a child's point of view. Right? Yeah. But that's easier said than done because we don't think that way anymore, you know.
But the fact that you can practice this on your kids and see what the reaction is the research you need to do, isn't it? And you have access for that. So the fact you've done that and saw the joy in his...
I think that's one thing I would do on a second book is have more people read it beforehand when it's like even before it's made as a book.
So just testing that dialogue out.
And getting more feedback, you know. I think, as I said to you, man, like just the way my mind works is I just rush. I will always rush things. Like, I've got to get this out now, you know. And I described it to you, actually, and to other people, that I released it like it was a Harry Potter book, and everybody's waiting for it. And in reality, nobody was waiting for it because no one knew about it. So that's not downplaying anything. That's just just the truth. Like, no one was sitting at home going, "Oh my God, this book! I can't wait for it."
Yeah, I can't wait to find those planes. I can't wait.
So I rushed it out, and the way it's done through Amazon, they print it. You know, you just send in all your documents and stuff. They print everything.
Right.
But the way you do it is you can see how it's laid out, but you have to order it first to see what it's physically like, because they cut bits off and you have to like adjust the pictures and stuff. And I think I bought 8 copies before I got to the point of, okay, now it's finished.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And as I said to you, as nuts as this sounds, because it's a book for 2 to 4 year olds, I didn't have it proofread. And I missed loads of commas and things. My grammar's not very good. And even when it was proofread, I was looking at it thinking, is this person sure? This doesn't look right to me, you know, because I paid to have it proofread. Yeah. And then I actually, for some reason, I didn't think of this before, started looking through other books that the kids had. Yeah. And everything she'd added, like the commas and everything, was exactly the same in the other books. Yeah. And I was like, I can't believe I'm questioning her when I have no idea what I'm doing. You know?
Hold on.
That
doesn't make any sense.
I think the reason I was questioning it is because I didn't know it.
Of course.
So to me, it looked really alien. But then it looks alien because you didn't know it in the first place.
You had no, exactly. You had no sort of experience within that matter in terms of writing a kid's book. So my question to you then, touching base on what you just said, is there avenue and the want from yourself to make a second book?
Definitely. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be the same thing. No. I think I'd love to do a series of this. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if the next one would be the same, along the same story sort of thing. Same characters. Kind of, I was thinking of trying to go up a couple of years age-wise. Something a little bit more educational, I think. Because this is cool. This is cool for the age. You know, 2 to 4. It's a hide and seek book. You know, you're not. You're not trying to teach kids too much at that age.
No, of course. Of course not.
But I think I want to. So basically, my son, my oldest son Tyler, he is like he's on the school council or something like that. So I said to him, maybe we'll do something around that. Use your name, Tyler. You know, do something around that. You know, because they deal with a lot of things like environmental issues. I mean, he's only 6.
I was going to say what?
But you know, they do this thing, and it's good because it's teaching them about littering and all this stuff, and you shouldn't be doing.
Environment and all that sort of stuff is good.
So I think there's something around that, but
that's interesting. But that's stuff you could teach because not a lot of things do that.
I agree.
On that kind of like educational stuff of making that sort of stuff fun and relatable. That's mate. That's great.
I think that's where I am at the moment in terms of idea. There'll be another book this age. I just don't know if it'll be next. Maybe it will be next because I've got all the stuff, all the characters, everything that's done. So maybe I do another one of these. I don't know yet.
Yeah.
I haven't started. I sort of, because this has just been done and just complete, I'm kind of like, okay. Need a little bit of a break.
Yeah, of course.
Because it took a long time to do.
Yeah.
As you can imagine.
What would you say the process is? How long did you, from start to finish?
There was a big break, so I'll explain it. So I had to write the script. Now that sounds a little bit silly because it's just
but you have to write a dialogue for it.
You still have to write page by page what the text will be, what the pictures will be, and all that sort of stuff. I then, as you know, tried to go to publishers, which is obviously not easy. And I got an offer from this publisher, which I was happy with. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe someone's But then what it turned out is it was called hybrid publishing.
Okay.
So you have to pay them.
Oh.
And I think they sent me a bill for like 2,200 or something.
Okay.
But what that means is they would do all the pictures for you. They would promote the book for you. They'd have it all printed for you. Everything like that sort of stuff.
Right.
And it's only that I then sort of done a lot of research into it that a lot of people don't treat that as credible. It's not very credible because you've paid
someone to do the work.
Someone to do it for you, whereas a more traditional way is they say to you, oh, brilliant, we want this. Here's X amount of money. Go and work on the book and we'll sell it and blah, blah, blah. So I think the thing with hybrid publishing is once they've got their money from you, there's no need for them to promote it. Why do they need to promote it? They've already taken your money.
Exactly.
Yeah. And in kids' books, like especially on a low scale, you're not making £2,000 back. So for them, they're quids in.
So they're laughing.
Yeah, it's going to cost them.
Christmas party paid for.
And they also take a share, don't forget, of what you're making.
Of course.
if you do happen to then sell 10,000 copies, they're quids in as well. They've made their $2,000 off you, plus then they're getting all their royalties.
And then some, yeah, exactly. Well, listen, mate, I'll say this to the camera now for the people that are watching and / listening to this podcast. One, it feels great. It's a decent, like, quality is decent. The pictures are very, very clear.
As I say, it's all done by Amazon. So everything is. Yeah. So when you order, it's printed. It's printed to order. So I think you can still get it on Prime next day. So it can be quick.
Yeah. Wicked. So for this decent book, you can find it on Amazon. Yeah. £4.
Yep.
Go and get your copy. If you have kids.
If you want, yes.
If you want.
Only if you want to.
Yeah, there's no force in here.
No.
There's no force in here. But yeah, honestly, mate, I couldn't be more proud of you. I think that's brilliant. And I can't wait to see what you do next, man.
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Man.
Big things coming.
Hopefully. Yeah. But talking about that, man, let's not skip over the fact you released 2 short movies.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Short films, if that's the correct way of saying it.
That's right.
Fine, talk us through it, man. Come on.
Well, the first one was a film called Words of Healing, which was released in, I'm going to get this wrong, I think June. Yeah. August, June. It was around that time anyway. And this short film was my first one. I had this idea in lockdown that... So, for those that don't know, I'm an actor as well. So, I was doing the whole agent route, and I had an agent. I was doing auditions here and there. The process is so long. Like, there might be some time that you don't even get an audition for like 2 or 3 months. Yeah. And then you might get a few in one week, and then, it's very erratic, sporadic like that. And then you could do the audition, wait around for the audition, it comes, you do the audition, then you're still waiting for the answer. So you ain't got the job yet, but you're doing all this waiting around and this work, and then until you get that, yes, you have the job, fantastic, great. But there's a lot of time waiting for that to happen. Yeah. And then even that could be a no. So you've done all of that for experience.
You say you can't rely on it, can you?
Right. But that's the process. That is what the process is. And it is what it is. But I got to a point where I was like, well, how can I, one, stick at the game, do what I want to do, play the characters I want to play tell the stories that I want to tell. Okay, well, let's start writing my own stuff. So I started writing Words of Healing, and I thought, okay, I'll run with this idea. And the reason why it came up is because there's a place called Reigate Hill, which is actually where it's filmed. And I love that place. It's beautiful. And I always wanted to do something at this viewpoint. And this kind of story came into mind. Now, I don't want to give it away too much just in case people haven't seen it. Yeah. But it's a small little drama, 10 minutes long, short film. And honestly, mate, for me, it was one of my favourite experiences of this year, because it's all very, very new. So I wrote it, directed it, acted in it, I produced it. I spent a lot of money, bro.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. It's all worth it in the long run, though, isn't it?
No, honestly, I think the feeling that I got from when people were watching it and giving me the feedback and all that sort of stuff, and the love that it got, like, it was very... it was worth every penny, every penny. I put it through for film festivals, and it got through to the last rounds of a couple, and got chosen for one of them. So yeah, I mean, that for me in itself, I didn't even have to win. The fact that it was my first short film of little to no experience of putting on a film, and it done this already, I was like, wow. I was grateful for that. So
I mean, that must be an amazing feeling anyway, to be honest.
It was nice, mate. It was just nice that it was recognised. And I had loads of people coming from like America, messaging me on Instagram saying they wanted to film in their festivals and stuff. Jesus. I'm thinking, like, from Boston, Chicago, Ohio, I think it was one all over the place. I'm like, where is this coming from? This is so weird. But like, I think that's the beauty of YouTube and being able to have your own platform and create your own work and share that with the world is. I got a lot of time for YouTube in that sense. You know what I mean? So, but I almost didn't film it on that day. You know.
Really?
Yeah. So the film itself, in my head, right, I envisaged it being on a really beautiful summer's day, like, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
It's in the middle of August, June time. Yeah. So I thought sunny days, right? Now, the shoot day fell on the day where. Do you remember we had that rain sandstorm thing, whatever that was? Yeah. Where the sky was yellow.
I remember watching it, and it was raining in the...
You see that? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So before we were leaving, I got in the car with the actress Rachel, bless her, she's wicked. Big up Rachel. And the production team got in their van, and I said to Rachel, I think we're going to have to just pick another day.
Oh, really?
I don't see it being like this at all, right? So I drove up next to the van, and I said to the boys, boys, I think we're going to have to cancel, because this is not what I pictured.
Yeah.
It was trying to rain at that point. It was kind of coming down. We're thinking, I'm in an RM. And Harry, the soundman / editor of the company that we work with, he was like, just give it a go. Let's just go and do it. Whatever happens. I was kind of like, it didn't take a lot to push me into it, because I really wanted to do it.
Of course, yeah.
I was like, right, let's just go and do it. And it rained the whole time. But you know what? For the film, it really worked. To really emphasize the dynamic between one, the characters, two, the main character's journey, and I guess the whole mood of the film. Like, it was just.
I feel like it actually was the perfect weather.
Yeah, honestly. Now watching back, I
and that's not just saying that to you just because you're mate.
No, of course.
Mate, but I feel like if it was a bright, sunny day, it wouldn't have fitted as well. I'm saying it would have still hit, but it wouldn't have hit as well. Yeah. I think the rain actually helped you.
100%.
Especially with the end. I'm not giving it away, but it helps. It helps, I think, right? With that. Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen it, please go and watch it and let us know if you think the rain helped or not, or would you rather see it on a sunny day? I'd like to know your opinions.
But he's not reshooting it, so
yeah, I'm not reshooting.
Put up with the rain.
Yeah, if you don't like it, well, I apologize. Yeah. But that for me was an amazing experience, and I really enjoyed it. And then that spurred on to do my second one, which is called Double Deceit. Now, Double Deceit again was a script that I had for a while. And again, that's a short film, so it's about 5 minutes long. But that's something that I had in the pipeline for a while, and I had numerous ideas with it and all that sort of stuff. But I didn't really sort of run with it. Yeah. But a good friend of mine called Gurdev, who used to go to the same agency as me. I sent him this script. Said, look, what do you think of this script? Should we do it? And he said, yeah, I'd love to. Read it? Said, yeah, it's wicked. Let's do it. So we started changing a few bits and working together and sort of collaborating on the script. And there's about 3 or 4 different versions, and we've managed to get the one that we liked. Again, worked with the same company as well, Concrete Playground, which is amazing. And produced Double Deceit, which was actually filmed on top of my workplace, mate. Is
that where it was? Yeah. I obviously saw the pictures and saw the film, but. Okay, it was on your workplace.
The challenging thing about that, right, was that I wanted to do this in one day.
Right.
I didn't plan a 2-day weekend. I was like, do you know what? Because Words of Healing took 2 days. Yeah. I said to the guys, I want to do this in one day. It's not a long script. There's obviously a lot of angles that we want to play with and stuff. Yeah. We did it in one day, and although I'm quite proud of that, because I quite like the film. Obviously I wrote it, I'm being a little bit biased, but I do quite enjoy it, and I think the consensus.
Hardly going to call it crap.
Yeah, it's pretty shit.
I wrote it and directed it, but it was pretty crap, to be honest.
So the consensus, the general consensus from the audiences and the people that have watched it, they seem to enjoy it as well. So that's good.
I think the thing is, though, we would never know you filmed it in 1 day or 2 days or 6 weeks. Like, there's no way we would know any different, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't feel like it come across as rushed or anything either. So
see, that's what I didn't want to. I didn't want to miss out on anything. Yeah. And like potentially, have that when you watch it. So there's a quality going. They didn't have enough time. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what I kind of didn't want. And we just managed to smack it out in 1 day, which was really, really good. I learned a lot. So the Words of Healing was very much like, I felt like everything went so well. Yeah. Perfect. It was great throughout the whole piece. Double Deceit was more of like, okay, learning curve. But a good learning curve. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't anything frustrating. It was just like, on this day, I go, I could have done that better. I could have done this. And when I watch it now, I go, I could take that shot out because that was a bit leading, and all these other things. Yeah. So
that's all part of the learning process, man. That's it all. Like, it just means the next time you do one, you're going to know what you didn't like in the last one, and you're going to keep progressing, right? Man. Yeah.
So you have to take those lessons, and
we all make mistakes, man. We all. Yeah. I think we all look back at things we've done and think, why didn't I do that? Or
Well, that's the best way to be, because otherwise, how are you going to progress?
But I think the other thing is as well is it's done, man. So like, don't worry about it. It's out there now.
It's done. Exactly. So that went down pretty well as well. That was good. And then I'm now writing a third, which I did a little poll on Instagram not too long ago, probably about 2-3 months ago now. Okay. Basically asking because after Double Deceit, people were like, I want to know what happens next.
Yeah.
People were asking for episode 2, so I was like, well, I didn't have anything planned. I'm not going to do episode 2 for Double Deceit.
Okay.
And that's going to make a few people upset, but that's what it is.
Do you know what? For me personally, from watching it and knowing you, and I don't feel like it needed a second. It makes sense.
Make your mind up.
Yeah.
It's now like your imagination can run with that. Like the ending, obviously not to give it away, but you can kind of fit the pieces together after that. It's quite obvious.
And I feel like if you're going to do a second, you should have just extended the first one.
Yeah.
I feel
10,
like
15.
just
no,
personally.
100%. No, I completely agree.
Yeah, I don't think you need to delve into
that story was what it was, and it was about that moment these two characters shared, and that is it.
The ending made sense. Everything was like okay,
concluded in that area. Right?
Yeah, I don't think it needs
exactly. But a lot of people were saying that, so I did this poll. What would you rather, a half-an-hour film or 3 episodes of 10 minutes?
Okay.
And the thing that won was the 3 episodes of 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So I thought, right, okay, I'm going to do a series. I'm going to do like a two-part or a 3-part. This I'm kind of playing with at the moment. And basically do this in order to, one, keep people coming back to the channel.
Yeah.
Finding different ways of bringing people back and keeping people interested on the channel itself. But to also, I guess, see how well that will do. You know, how well can I write in terms of making episodes and all that sort of stuff. And again, writing this process, I've taken a lot on and learned a lot as well at the same time. But it's I'm really enjoying it, man. So I've got episode 1 and 2 done. 2's not how I want it to be. 1 is pretty much there. 2 is not where I want it to be, but it's getting there. And I have an idea for the 3rd, but I don't know if I'm committing to it.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that.
It's interesting, man. The thing I find with even YouTube and everything is it's hard to get views, isn't it? It's hard to get views. I mean, you could write the best thing in the world, and if no one watches it, you know, it's so hard, man. I look at numbers of things all the time and just think, how? You know? Yeah.
I just think all this like, I don't understand all this like algorithm and all that stuff. I don't get it. Obviously, I can learn that. I think, take time to research it. But I think
the thing is, like, you just need to hit that. Once you hit that, you seem to win, and you seem to get just shitloads of views. I suppose is the best way to say it.
But when they say do all that tags and stuff and thumbnails, I feel like I do that okay. Yeah. But the numbers are saying something.
Well, mate, look, the thing is, so even for this channel, we put up a short for Jake Paul or something.
Oh God!
And it got like 760 views, right?
Yeah.
Which we thought was amazing, but then you look at some of the others and they're on like 10 views.
No, hang on.
And it's just like, where does that go? You know?
Check that one because I'm pretty sure. Oh, I can't do it on this phone, can I? I'm pretty sure the numbers on that one were much bigger, right?
It might have been, but
because I remember I was at work and you sent this to me.
I know on Instagram it done like 3,000, didn't it?
Oh, maybe that's one. Yeah. Oh, that's one.
And do you remember in like 10 minutes they got those numbers, and it was like, oh my God,
like, how is this happening?
Yeah, like. And you updated me every minute, like, look at these numbers, you know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's what seems to happen is you just seem to hit an algorithm and that's it. You know, you just blow up.
You're just on that wave, innit? It's just, it's crazy.
I mean, the person that I know on Twitch who does a lot of drawing, right? They post a lot to TikTok of things they've drawn and animations and stuff like that. And I don't know, they might get a few hundred every time they post, but one day they put up one clip and it just blew. And I mean, she got like 20,000 likes and gained like 2,000 followers. It was like, it was nuts.
That's crazy.
It was so if you hit the algorithm, you're perfect. But if you don't, unless people are watching you regularly, you just disappear into
kind of just lost
into millions of other videos. You know, so this podcasting game is so hard, man, because so many people do it.
There's so many, there is.
But I think for me, as I was going to say this to you, I wanted to say it to you on camera as well. I was thinking about rebranding. The whole podcast, rebranding, man.
Talk to me.
The thing for me is it was called The Chosen Podcast because my Twitch name is The Chosen One Live. Go and follow. Not that I go on there anymore, but follow it.
Follow it anyway.
And that was just the only reason that I came up with The Chosen Podcast. And once, obviously, then I said to you, do you want to come in, blah, blah, blah. And it's kind of, it's been cool. But I think now we've had a year off, we're coming back. I think we rebrand.
Okay.
I think this one goes out as a Chosen Podcast. And then I think
we
might have to
there.
hit something as a rebrand, man. So get thinking.
I'm down.
Get
Okay,
thinking,
right.
You know, I think there's got to be, you know, a different name. I think you've got to avoid using our names.
Personal names.
Yeah, and I think like Daniel and Mark podcast.
No, yeah.
It's got to be something more. I mean, we come here, we talk rubbish, man. We just talk.
Well, it's just chatting,
Yeah, no,
isn't it?
we're two mates chatting. So you've got to come up with something that almost says that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Okay.
Not as simple as that. Oh, two friends having a chat podcast. No, it doesn't work. But, you know, something along that it says to people when they click on it, oh, that's what that's about.
Yeah.
I think the Chosen podcast doesn't say anything.
I get what you're saying.
You know?
Yeah. Something relatable to what we do.
Basically, yeah. I mean, there's loads of podcasts out there, man, that have good names.
Tons, man. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Guys in the comments as well, whack in names that you would like to see or you think is a good idea. We'd like to see your opinions too. But yeah, okay, I'm down for that.
Yeah, because I was just thinking about it, man. Like I was thinking about subjects to talk about today, because obviously first time back.
Of course, yeah.
And I was just thinking about it for a while. We need a rebrand, man. I think new logo, new everything, man. We just need to.
Let's go for it, man.
What that's going to be is another thing, but. You know.
Well, yeah, we'll go down that journey as and when.
Yeah. So I think I kind of got the idea. I was watching, you know, who Roman Atwood is.
Yeah.
We've spoken about it before. Yeah. He has his own podcast, but his is called the Roman Atwood Podcast. And I kept thinking, it works because of who he is, how many millions of people know him. So it kind of makes sense.
Because that and his name is a brand.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, you know who you're going to see.
As soon as you see Roman Atwood, you know what you're going to listen to Roman Atwood. So it kind of makes sense. But for us,
if you go to Dan and Mark's podcast,
it doesn't make any sense. No one knows who you are. So.
Yeah,
but that's where I got that idea from, man. I also got another subject from his podcast, and he talks about it, but he doesn't. He's very careful. Okay. Right? I can see this fly. Look. Hey. How's Daniel son?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Jackie Chan over here. What's going on? Bruce Lee and that.
Yeah. Is cancel culture.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
It skirts around it a little bit, and I get why, because it's mad, but.
Well, it's very aggressive, man.
Kind of, yeah. I was kind of going to just say, what's your views on it, man? Let's cancel Mark right here. Let's get his views and cancel him.
Let's go.
Because for me, I see people like Andrew Tate's been cancelled now, big time, isn't he, off of everything? Massive. And listen, the guy says some stupid stuff, but I kind of also think we live in a free world, man. Like you're allowed your opinion, and for some reason, over the past, I don't know how many years, you are no longer allowed an opinion. If your opinion is against what one group of people want, that is it. Yeah. You're cancelled. Yeah. You're this, you're that.
And like, even if the opinion isn't done in a malicious or 100%. Aggressive way, it's just someone's subjective opinion, you can still get cancelled for it. 100%. I think it's crazy, man. Don't get me wrong. Like, I think that obviously it's the element of free speech, isn't it? Yeah. But I don't think that that's a thing anymore. I don't think that free speech is a thing, especially if it can be controlled, such as this, right?
I agree with that.
For example, Andrew Tate. Now, at first, when I saw his first stuff, I was like, this dickhead, brother. I was like, I thought, who the hell is this guy? Billions of pounds, whatever he's got, money, not pounds, whatever he has, that says these derogatory views on these short little snippets, etc., etc., etc. That's the opinion that I had in the first place. Now, the more that it's always come on my feed. It's just everywhere. It's like it just comes up everywhere. The more that I see it, the more that I listen to certain things, I agree with some of the stuff he says, not towards women, like more about the hard working side of things, and being a traditional man. And I kind of understand that, because we've been brought up in a world where, you know, we had certain aspects about us as young men being traditional. Do you know what I mean? Like looking after women or whatever it may be in a certain way. Or
But even just to go further on that, even to the extent of mental health. Mental health didn't exist. And we're only, I mean, I'm 31, you're 30, yeah? So we're not that old. No. I mean, we're young adults, really. But even when I was a kid, that didn't exist.
Yeah,
it's
true.
You know, shut up, you're a boy, get over it, sort of thing.
Man up. Man up was a huge thing, wasn't it?
And listen, I do that with my kids sometimes. And there are times where I think, you know, you probably shouldn't say those things now, you know, but I think when you're brought up in that way as well, it's like that's ingrained into you, you know?
Yeah. I think, do you know what I think there is, is that the world is forever changing, right? And that's fine. I think what I'm about to say doesn't sit in all aspects of life. This obviously can change, but there's certain people like nans. They're not going to be able to adapt to the world that we're in today as quickly as some of us are at our age, right? Yeah. So we just have to kind of accept that. Obviously, if it crosses the line, nan, shut the fuck up. We want to don't say that to your nans. I was going to say, but you know what I'm saying. But like
you'll get slapped around the head.
Yeah, I'm dead, bro. But you correct nan on those fronts. But if there's certain elements that she just doesn't understand, it's not in a malicious way, or like it doesn't come from. There's too much of a then just allow it. Just it's difference of people's lives and how they've been brought up. It's fine.
But also, I go even further than that and say, if you have an opinion, you're allowed an opinion, whether. Okay, I understand all this hate speech and blah, 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 right? And I get it. And
none of that should ever happen.
I understand that. But I also say, if that's your opinion, then you are allowed an opinion. Doesn't mean that you're right. Doesn't mean that we agree with you or anything like that. But you are allowed an opinion.
Yeah, no, I get what
you are allowed to be yourself, you know?
The opinion is there, right?
I think if you're going outside Parliament or outside some sort of club and, spewing all your hate, it's different.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you can do that. Course. So before anyone thinks that, I don't think that.
Yeah.
But what I think is that you should still be allowed your own opinion.
Yeah, no, 100%. You know? I think 100% you should have your own opinion, and people are going to have opinions on certain things that are very, very extreme. And okay, fine. But it's only when those extreme thoughts, like the people like us can't control people having these opinions. It's when they affect the other people that might be against, for example, racism. When that starts, your idea of this now is quite malicious and affects the other people of the lives that you're saying an opinion about. Yeah. That's where it is wrong. That's where it should be eradicated, stopped, and I think those things should be, what's the word? I guess cancelled. Yeah. In my opinion, I think none of that should stand. Any of that stuff, but. He's entitled to his opinion, but how he delivers that's where it becomes a problem. And
I think that's my thing. As I think, as long as you're not online sort of hurling abuse at people, then
that can never happen.
But if you sit at home and your opinion is X, Y, and Z, you are entitled to that opinion.
Yeah. It just doesn't mean you're right.
You can't go out and start spewing hate and attacking people because that's horrible, obviously wrong. Horrible. But.
And I think that, as well as us saying that you're entitled to that opinion, like I think if a friend of mine had an opinion that I completely and utterly disagreed, whether it be on, I don't know, I'm just sticking with the racism thing just whilst we've said it, I would counteract that quickly and to try to say, look, and that's where I think an opinion, fair enough, but I'm gonna tell you why that's wrong, or like, do you know what I mean? Like, I think that's where it becomes. We have to have a chat now. But going back a few conversations about the whole cancel culture, about Andrew Tate and whatever. I think the way that he delivers his stuff, is what riles people up. Now he said I watched him in an interview with Piers Morgan, and he said most of the clips that he's been that's going around social media at the moment are clips from certain podcasts from way back when he had a very small following, and only like 10% of the people really, 5,000 people, 10% of that really got quite aggressive and whatever, and quite upset about
and don't forget, they do clip just the one bit that makes
they're
it
going to take that out, right? They're going to take it out of context. But now that he's got a massive following, there's a lot more people. That 10% of 5 million now is much bigger than 10% of 5,000. So there's a lot more people getting really, really upset and annoyed. But what I don't get is Andrew Tate saying all these things, which sometimes is crazy. Let's just put it out there, it's mad. But some of the stuff I think could really teach a lot of young men some valuable lessons in life, etc. Right? Tell me why he's been cancelled all of these social media websites, Twitter, wherever it may be, but the Taliban or something's got Twitter.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that about? No. That's where I can't. This is why this whole thing for me is everything's so subjective. Yeah. Well, just because you don't like Andrew Tate, but go on the fucking Taliban's website and Twitter and see what's going on there.
The issue is that there is many different groups, and I'm not picking any. I'm just saying there is many different groups of different people that get offended at the slightest thing.
Yeah.
And once they get offended by the slightest thing, they go all out and full on attack. Even though you might have said something that you truly believe, and you might not have said it in any aggressive way, and you've just said one comment.
Yeah.
And they go full in on you.
Yeah,
And you see it online all the time, and it's just like, it's nuts. Let people have their opinion, man. As long as they're not hurting anybody, and I know that, again, that's subjective because everyone's hurt by something. But
if it's not aggressive towards certain people,
you're not being physical to somebody.
And you're not,
know,
you're not out here to make someone upset.
Because you can choose to read people's things or not. If you don't like what he's saying, block him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very simple, you know.
It's a difficult one, because everyone's entitled to their opinion. But just certain things should be monitored, I think.
I think times have changed from, as we said, like even 50 years ago, it was men are men and women are women. You know, and I agree about...
Or gender roles and that.
Yeah, like, you know, it was like a woman's job to stay at home. And I don't think it should be like that now. I'm just saying that's what it was. And the men would go to work. And you were men. You didn't talk about mental health or anything like that. Which
feelings.
I think one thing is that is good. That is around.
Yeah, massively.
Is that stuff.
I commend it. Yeah, for sure.
But there are still people set in that way, and that's a very hard thing to just change in the space of 5 years, which everyone wants you to now suddenly be different. This is something that is passed down generation to generation.
That's been the life of a family for so long. You can't just expect someone after 10 minutes to go, I'll change that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's difficult. In those areas, it's very, very difficult.
It's the same as things like pronouns. The pronouns thing is something I struggle with, and I struggle with it not because of what people want to be called, but because if you missay it, you're attacked, and that's the issue.
That's the issue. Yeah.
If it's the first time I meet you and I mispronounce or what would it be? Not misgender, I'm not misgendering you, am I? But saying
misidentifying
saying the wrong pronoun, right? And then you attack me. How's that fair on me?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
don't assume my gender, etc.
For most of probably the existence, it's been he and she, and now all these things are coming, and that's fine. And live your way, live your life the way you want to live.
Crazy,
I have no issues with that.
Yeah.
But I feel like I can't be attacked for something that is still relatively new, if we're being honest.
Yeah, 100%. And I think there's latching onto that. Like, I'll be honest with you, I don't understand it. And this is not me saying, again, like you, live your life how you want to, but I find it very difficult to understand what that feels like.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people truly don't understand it, because how can you understand something that you will never ever experience in your whole life?
I agree.
You only can assume it. You can only assume what it would feel like. Now, to assume what it would feel like, I feel like I'll be doing a discredit, because I'm now assuming something that I've never felt. I assume you're going through something that I have never experienced in my whole life. I can't assume that. Yeah. Because, but I haven't been around it enough to understand, or had the conversations enough to understand that just yet. And hopefully I'll get to, because I don't get it. And I think that, I think there should be a certain understanding of that. That some people aren't just going to understand at the first get-go what you're going through. What is this? Because, like you're saying, for a long time, science has said chromosomes and everything else that has been factual, proven to be fact, has said it's he or she. Yeah. So, I don't know. I think there's maybe in certain areas there needs to be a bit more of an understanding on certain parts from both sides of the pond. In an amicable
I agree,
way.
man. Like, as I said, I don't think it needs to be so aggressive. Like, I think this is the way we're going. Okay, this is happening. There's nothing anyone can do to stop it, and I'm not saying it should be. I'm just saying this is the way it's going. So, I think we all have to learn together if this is going to happen. You can't. The reason that people are not willing to get it is because you're attacking them. So
it stunts the growth there.
You've got to do it like it's got to be education. It's not. You can't just say. Imagine I just said to you, I identify as a chair, like, and you call me Daniel, and I get offended and start shouting at you straight away. It's like that's where it starts becoming very sort of aggressive, and that's when they'll go, just call him he next time. So if we're going this way, which we are, there needs to be more education around it, I think.
Well, okay, let me ask you a question. In terms of this kind of, what ages would you teach that?
I don't know. That's a tricky one.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to go into that because
No.
I have separate
I've got some
feelings on
separate
that
issues.
as well.
Yeah, I think.
And again, this is the issue right now. Someone could stumble upon this podcast and listen, and then we're going to get cancelled. It's like it's hard. I don't know, but I also have the same view of things like teaching kids about sex and stuff. I think that, it's too early, man. They're being taught too early in schools, like 6, 7 years old. They're being taught. I don't know, man. For me, it was like
that's crazy.
I remember. I'll tell you a story. I remember in our junior school. I was sent home one day. I think I was in year 3, and I was sent home because I kept saying sex. So
is it?
But I didn't know what it meant because I was 7? Are you 8 in that age? But I'd keep saying sex. I'm going to sex you. I'm going to sex. That sort of thing. And I was sent home, and I remember my mum sitting me down and saying, well, what does sex mean then?
Yeah.
And I was like, I have no idea.
No
They kept saying,
no.
Well, you keep saying it. Well, no, but I don't actually know what it means. But now it's like they're being taught at that age what it means, and it's like I don't know, man.
Not only what it
I
means.
I know we live in a more dangerous world now, so maybe they should be aware earlier. But I just struggle with the idea of my kids in school at that age being taught these things.
Do you know what? I can't lie. I'd struggle as a teacher to.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what you got to do today. Talk about sex, teach sex to a bunch of kids. I could not do that.
I think there's a certain age where they're old enough to get it. I don't know, man. It's a tough subject because a lot of people would disagree.
I think there's a lot about life that you can teach a kid for sure, 100%. I think there's certain things that, if not done correctly, can be quite detrimental.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you know what I mean? It needs to be done well. And again, I mean, listen, I don't have kids, so I can't. Again, I'm not really basing this kind of thing off my experience, obviously. Yeah. But my opinion on that, as well as teaching kids about gender roles, pronouns, or like if you're in the right body, or like all that sort. Leave the kids alone. That's tricky. That for me, I think it's crazy, man. Some of the stuff that I've seen online, and especially about the whole gender thing, it's man.
The problem is
I could go into it, but it's just crazy to me.
I think for me, there's loads of adults that don't get it. So how are you teaching kids? It's like that's where I'm like, okay, I understand that we're going to go down that way, and that's going to happen. As I said, you can't stop it, but I think that when a lot of adults don't get it, then how are you teaching kids it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's difficult,
Like I watched I don't know, I can't remember his name. I forget this guy's name all the time. But I'll get this and we'll put it in the description maybe. Or put it as like a subtitle. I can't remember his name. But he made a documentary called "What Is a Woman?" Okay. And he went around basically on the transgender sort of bandwagon and asking people from all areas of life. Male, females, transgenders, people that were doctors in this field, etc. What is a woman? And people can't really answer the question. But in one of the scenes in the documentary, he mentions about kids and the fact that saying, these kids, if you're saying that these kids need to understand what kind of body they're in, or they feel like they're saying, "Mum, I'm a boy, but I feel like I'm a girl." This is the same kid that believes in Santa. This is the same kid that believes in the Easter Bunny. They have no grip on reality. Yeah. And leave them alone. And until they're older and they still have these feelings, then address it. But not now, man. And I feel like a lot of parents are just allowing these kids to do absolute crazy stuff that, in my opinion, and this is probably going to be, looked upon as a negative one, but it's detrimental. It's detrimental for me, and I will when I have kids, my boy will be a boy, my girl will be a girl until the ages of God knows when they have an understanding what life is and what this is all about. Because and then obviously I'll need to know as well. But I just felt like just leave the kids alone, man. It's just
no, I agree.
It's crazy.
I agree.
But
it's funny though, we're talking about cancel culture and we're definitely getting cancelled.
Definitely getting cancelled. So guys, this is the last episode.
But this is the thing, this is what I said to you, is like you can't, these are such tricky subjects, because as soon as you say one thing that someone disagrees with, it's game over.
Well, the thing is, this kind of topic there's an umbrella of loads of different things you can cover within that one topic.
I agree.
It's so much stuff. Should people be cancelled? Yes, for certain things, of course. But there are a lot of people out there getting cancelled for
just ridiculous things.
For just because big crowds of people have gone, we hate you.
Yeah.
That's it. And I don't think that's right. But
so on sort of similar thing, what do you think about these Just Oil knobheads?
Who's there?
Have you not seen the Just Oil people? They're all camping on the motorways and all that.
Oh,
throwing the paint everywhere. Oh my god.
Yeah, and then are these the same people that are throwing like food artwork and stuff?
Yeah, but they're saying about poverty and kids not being able to eat, and then they're throwing beans at paint.
Exactly. Yeah.
Paintings.
But why are you going to a museum for that?
But then it's wasted food as well.
Wasted food.
You're saying that people are in poverty and you're throwing food on the floor.
This is what I'm saying, right? I get that the message needs to come out.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I know that. I am pretty sure that there is a much better way of using your time to help the kids that are
the
starving.
thing is, you're messing up the wrong people. You're messing up the people, working class people.
Yeah.
People trying to drive a bus, drive a taxi.
Who probably feel exactly the same way you do.
Exactly. But you're messing them up. You're not messing up the politicians who are supposed to be doing this. Go to the Houses of Parliament and egg it.
Try and find a way where you guys, on a professional means, can get into that building and chat to the people. Obviously, it's very, very difficult.
Didn't a lady die because they couldn't get through the Dartford Tunnel or something? Something
like that. Well,
so the ambulance can get through, and the woman died because they wouldn't get out of the road.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's crazy.
Mad.
And how are they not?
But you know what? People like that should be arrested.
Yeah, I don't know why they're not held accountable for that. That's manslaughter. You've been involved in that.
You've been involved in that.
Yeah,
you were
100%.
the one who created this mess. And with
And also, right, just quickly, they were camping from one of those. I don't know what bridge it was, but they were camping from the bridge, weren't they? So they had to shut the whole bridge because it was health and safety. They were up there, blah blah blah. Leave it open. If they fall for me and get hit by a car, that's your own problem.
Listen,
you shouldn't be up there.
You put yourself in that mess. Do you know what I mean?
You're an adult. You know you're not supposed to be up there, right? So I'm all for protesting, right? And I'm all for getting your point across. That's cool.
Of course.
But you were affecting the working class person in a cost of living crisis.
Yeah.
The cab drivers need their money. Bus drivers need your money. Everyone that works needs your money. And if you're affecting them getting to and from their job,
I feel like I've heard.
You're then making it worse. You're adding to the problem of people needing food banks.
And people are going to start hating you.
Yeah. So it doesn't make any sense. Like, I understand make your point, but make your point properly.
I look at these people, they're delusional, bro. I think that like you're saying, there's make your point, but in a way that's effective. This ain't effective.
That's what I say, but affect the right people, affect the politicians. They're the only ones that can make change. They have to force change upon us.
Because there's a lot of them, right?
Yeah, of course.
Guaranteed, if you all got together, just had a proper meeting about what you can do to change the world, I guarantee you there's at least one person in there with a fantastic idea.
Yeah. I don't disagree.
So start throwing shit at paintings and start.
I know, but do it properly. But like gluing their heads to the floor and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
what the hell? Listen, I'm sorry if I ever come across a motorway and it's blocked and I see the guys, I'm dragging them off. I have to.
So you see the videos of them being pulled, but they just go and then sit back in the same space. It's so like.
Listen,
Listen, as I said, right, I'm all for protesting. Make your point.
Yeah.
I think at some point, us as a country need to do something because the cost of everything is going up. Salaries are not going up. We're being fleeced for everything.
We are, man.
You know.
But I just feel like I don't know. Like I've just got I've got no. What's the word I'm trying to find? Trust is one of them. I've got no trust. But I've got no energy for the politicians because I don't believe anything they say. There's so much that we, as the general public, don't know about the politicians of what goes on behind closed doors. So how can we put our full trust into someone and a system that we don't know how it's run?
Yeah, I agree.
We don't know. Pardon me. And there's so much to it that we haven't, and we will never know. We will never find out how it's properly run and what goes on. So until the transparency there is there for us as a general public to know what's going on and to be involved in a certain way, I can't trust. I've never seen anything to say oh, they're doing a great job.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, the funny thing is, right, is I don't know about you, but I've never voted.
Have you not? Yeah.
Never. Not once.
Okay. Yeah. Out of choice, just
out of choice not to vote.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's not against the law, is it? You don't
No,
have
it's
to
not.
vote.
You don't
do
have to vote. No. No, you don't have to
I'm
vote
on the
at all.
register and all that, but
Yeah,
no,
you-
I
it's up
don't.
to you.
Because I just think it's all rubbish.
Yeah. Well,
I think a lot of the times is I'm not educated enough in it, and I kind of feel like this is why I think they're talking about 16-year-olds being able to vote. It's tough because you do have a percentage of 16-year-olds who are probably highly intelligent, but you also have a huge percentage that isn't. So, but then that's the same for the general population. So is it any different? It probably isn't.
Yeah. Well.
So, but I kind of think when I was younger, I just used to think that I don't know what is going on. I mean, I still don't know what's going on. I mean, it's just such a mess.
It is a mess.
But no, I choose not to vote out of our choice. But then when you tell people that, you also get, you have no say in what happens.
Well, listen, like
and it's like, but I get it, but also I know if 1,000 people said it makes a difference, but my one vote will make no difference.
No, I get
the guy that won in where I live won by like 3,000 votes. So if you think I voted for the other person, what difference does it make?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So you can't say that my vote would have made a difference.
It's the parties with the biggest backing, man. It's the parties with the biggest backing.
Of course.
Financially wise as well. Like it's just how many new parties have we seen in this country?
Yeah.
None of them. It's been the same three parties that have been involved heavily in the politics for decades.
Yeah.
There's not been a change. Why? Because they're the ones with the funding, with the backing, with the. So there's generally our vote to a degree kind of. Well, does it matter?
It doesn't matter
nowadays. Anyway, I don't think it does. And
they all sort of help themselves anyway, don't they? It's not I think for me we need Count Binface, man.
Trust me.
Count Binface is the way forward. That guy cracks me up. How's he walking around with a bin on his head?
Yeah, crazy.
So funny.
Who's it? Was it Nico as well? Like,
Nico Malaya, yeah. And Max Fosh did as well. You know Max Fosh?
Actor,
He's
right?
also a YouTuber.
Oh, Max, with the glasses. Yeah, I know him. Yeah.
So they both ran for mayor, didn't they? I think. I don't know where Max came 10th or something, was it? And Nico come like 5th or something. It was crazy.
He's done alright,
Or 4th or something like that. Yeah, no, it was nuts.
But it's the biggest with the biggest influence. He had a huge influence, doesn't he? So.
But even then, he was miles away from top.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
Nowhere near.
But if you'd allowed 16-year-olds to vote, would it have been different? Possibly.
Yeah.
Because it's 18, isn't it?
18.
As far as I'm aware, it's 18.
Is it 18?
I think so.
Mate, so much has changed, hasn't it?
But if it is 16, then that's.
Yeah.
I'm sure that it would have been a lot different.
Question.
I don't think he would have won, but he would have got a lot more votes.
Yeah, of course. Right, question for you. If you were Prime Minister, what's the first thing you'd change?
No idea.
No.
I just wouldn't want the job.
To be honest, there and then. Someone else take
you voted me and I'd hand you my P45. No interest. I don't know, man. Look, I do think it's easy for people to sit on the outside and say, well, you should do this and you should do that. Of course it is. I don't think it's anywhere near as easy as people like to make out it is.
No.
No,
of course it's
we
not.
do have budgets. There are limitations probably. There are, laws that stop you doing certain things. So I think it's a very hard question to answer because I've got no idea. Absolutely none. I've never given it any thought. I'm not smart enough to be there, but, no, I've no idea. Because, again, we don't know what you can and can't do. We all think that the Prime Minister can go in and do what he wants, but I think it's probably a lot more limited than you think it is.
Yeah, no, agreed.
They can't just go in and go, right, I'm banning all of cigarettes now. See you later, you're all done. I think there's loads of things.
Yeah, there's got to be some sort of like guidelines for all
I think that the one thing actually thinking about it would be funding for the NHS. I don't know how you do it, how you'd go around it, but that would be my first thing.
I do the pay for the NHS, man. Yeah,
it would be looking into how we can fund it properly. Because the one thing for me is the NHS is amazing, man. I love the NHS, but they're all underpaid. They're understaffed because everyone's leaving because there's no money there. And these are people that save your life. And it's like, we'd rather pay a politician 3 times more. It's like, just get your priorities right. These doctors and stuff, I see a therapist, as you know, right? And I had a conversation with her the other day, and she was saying about how many people are leaving, and that she could go somewhere else private and all that and make more money, but she doesn't want to because she loves the NHS.
Yeah.
But it's like you could go and earn
Respect
probably 10, 15, 20 more grand by going private.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Think about how much it costs to go to a therapist. I don't know, 100 quid. What is it? 100 quid a session, 150 quid a session. What am I paying? Nothing. You know, so it's crazy, man. We got to figure out a way of sorting out the NHS.
I think you're right. I think there's something. I'd like to do something to do with the NHS for sure, and fix that problem because they deserve it. It's crazy. Yeah. But to the homelessness situation, man, I'd love to sort of dive into that and see if I could do anything to help because I work in Southwark, right? But I get the train to Waterloo and I walk from Waterloo to Southwark, which is about just under 10 minutes, not long. The amount of homelessness I see around that Waterloo station, so many people, man, and it's so sad. And I walk past thinking, I wish I could do something. Yeah. And there's probably something little I can do, like, you know, help them buy them food or, like, you know, something. But I'm talking more in the grand scheme of things. Like, what could I do and put in place to at least try and eradicate this thing? And obviously that is a very difficult thing to do.
I think the reason that's hard is because some people don't want your help.
Yeah.
Now that sounds nuts because people are living on the street, but some people just, that's it. That's their life, isn't it? Because I don't know, man. Like, I agree with what you're saying, by the way. I just think, like, I don't know, some people probably get help and then end up back there and get help and end up back. It's the same as people that go to prison. It's the same thing. Yeah. Some people just, that's their life. That's what's going to happen. They just don't want help. They're going to end up back that way. Not always by choice, but probably sometimes by choice, you know. But
then that's the problem to fix it. That's the cycle that you fix in it, and how do you go about that?
Yeah, that's what you do. Yeah. But as you said, I feel like that's a very hard thing to do, you know, because
I guess that's far more complex than.
Yeah, that requires money and you know, people actually caring.
Huge amounts. You'd have to create new job roles and you know, set up.
But the mad thing is, I think I heard this saying somewhere before, is you're only 3 paychecks away from being homeless.
Oh right.
Missed
paychecks, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
And when you think about it, it's like, damn, it's mad, isn't it?
That's
so true, mate.
Yeah, you put it like that. Jesus.
Maybe it's different if you have a council house and things like that. But if you own your own property, you could go homeless so quickly, it's unreal. Yeah. You know, you start defaulting on your mortgage and things. Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Jeez, that's scary, bruv. Yeah, that's mad.
But I'd say the NHS. NHS is the big one for me. I love the NHS. I think the NHS is amazing.
They are great. They are fantastic.
Yeah, you look at it, anytime you're sick, anytime you break a bone, anytime whatever, it's always there.
Yeah,
doesn't cost you a bit. It's free. You pay our taxes, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. You don't go and say
you don't go in and like I watched a TikTok the other day of this couple in America who had a baby, and it cost them something like 80 grand to have the kid, and they were actually charged 5,000 for the dad to have skin-to-skin contact with his baby. They charge you 5 grand. Nuts. And what did we pay here? 0.
That shouldn't be a thing.
No, that's mental. That's mental. You're being charged.
This is your child.
Yeah.
You now have to pay me in order to hold your own child.
Yeah. I'm
fighting someone.
I was going to say.
What is going on?
But even a TikTok, the dad was being told, and he was gobsmacked. Like, why am I paying to hold my own child? It doesn't make any sense. And like the epidural was like 10 grand.
Shit.
So, mate, you're suffering that pain. You don't need an injection. 10 grand.
Yeah.
No thanks. Listen, I'm not going through the pain. But
how do you pay for that?
I think they set up like payment plans and things, don't they? But
do they? Yeah.
But I think you obviously have insurances and stuff. But I know from just talking to some people that some things don't get covered under insurance, so you physically have to pay.
So there are. Yeah, okay. Right.
Yeah. So. A lot of it would be written off probably under insurance, but there are still bits that you have to pay.
But
for.
In that sense, you
have to set up a payment plan, and it pays till it pays. And some people go bankrupt through it because you haven't, you know. Think about it. If you have cancer and you've no medical insurance, it's just bill after bill after bill after bill, and you're in the millions. And what do you do if you're someone who earns 30 grand a year? Nothing. You can't do anything.
Fucked.
You're never paying it.
Absolutely fucked.
But it also doesn't work in terms of their system. Like, I don't want to get into like American because I'm not from there, so I don't understand it as much. But I mean, surely that doesn't work for you because you're never recovering the money.
Well,
so what difference does it make?
Yeah.
You know. So surely it should be a value where you know you're going to at least recover something.
Yeah.
You're not recovering anything from someone who owes you $1 million.
Not.
You know, like you're going to recover what, $5,000 a year maybe. Like you're not recovering anything because it doesn't make sense. But yeah, let's not go into American politics because we don't understand it. But I definitely don't anyway. I can't speak for you, but I definitely don't.
Mad. Absolutely crazy, man.
But yeah, man. Oh mate, look, it's been an hour and 10 minutes.
Has it really been an hour and 10 minutes? That's crazy.
I think it's funny, man, because we come here with no topics to talk about, and we fell into cancel culture and prime ministers and politics, and we're definitely getting cancelled after this. This is it. It's game over. The good thing is, Andrew Tate will definitely be in our thumbnail.
Yes, he's definitely going to be in there.
So
cheers, Andrew.
We are looking for those clicks, man.
Trust me.
No, it's been good, man. Listen, appreciate you coming along.
No, mate, of course. Last question before we wrap up, though. I'm going to make this a regular thing.
Go on.
Because as we're saying,
I'm here for it. If this is a joke again, I'm walking out.
It's not.
Because you got me with the Matt baby thing.
It's not.
Hook, line and sinker, by the way. I got to clip that because that was so funny.
Please clip that, please. Now I'm going to make this a thing because I touching base on what we're saying about men talking.
Yeah.
We have to talk. And I think I encourage men to go and find a friend and just chat. A male friend, not a female friend, although do.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
encourage a male friend around you just to talk.
Yeah.
Are you happy?
Jesus, that got deep.
This week.
That got deep.
No, but it's not. It could be
yeah.
like a very small answer. It doesn't have to be like.
No, listen. I think yes is the answer. I think maybe not as happy as I want to be, but happy enough this week. But in this week, if you're asking me specifically, I haven't got any issues this week. Sweet. I think that there is something that I do want to talk about, which we've already discussed before. Okay. But I think I'll just sort of mention it to you now, but we'll go deeper into it.
We can do this as like a separate episode, right?
But it was the death thing again, and we've discussed death. Right.
Yeah, that's one of our episodes.
And this is something that plagues me, man. Like, it's bad. Like everything. Like even now, I'll leave this. I'll get in the car. I'll go home. And my first thought will be, I wonder if that will be the last time I ever do that.
Really?
Mad. And I think that all the time, no matter what it is. And I know my wife is listening and she'll be annoyed I don't tell her that. But no matter what I do, anything, like take the kids to the park, I'll go to work, like I'll talk to someone and I'll instantly when I'm driving home, I'll think, is that the last person I'll ever talk to them?
Wow.
Did I annoy them that day? What would they think about me when it's mad. And it's good, like controls your life a little bit.
Wow.
It's crazy, man.
Well,
I don't want to delve too much into it.
No, we'll get that into a separate episode. We can do that for the next one. That's fine. Because I'd like to talk about that because I think everyone has that type of thing, but it's just the severity of it, right? Sometimes, I think
to the point for me is it's a point where it's not taking over my life because that's going too extreme, but it's like it's a constant.
It's
thought.
there.
It's constant thought of like. I don't know. Even so, obviously I don't eat. Well, we've discussed that before. I will eat every evening, 8 o'clock. It'll be tomato soup, vegetable soup, whatever it'll be. But a lot of the days, I count down the time to that because I know that's the end of my day. Right. So I might have another day tomorrow. And that's like unhealthy. Wow. That you like count down the time to get to that point, you know? And it's about breaking that cycle. Because I know, look, there's a lot of times... My wife would agree with me this. She's going to love it. I keep mentioning her, by the way. But I will spend the day in bed because that's where I'm most comfortable because of the way my mind works. When in reality, we could have walked to the park. Could have taken the kids to the park. I don't have to necessarily drive them miles away to go to a beach. Could have gone to a park. And that's something where, for me, I need to deal with that myself. And I need to start saying, you've got to be more proactive, I suppose.
Right.
But no, that's a very deep.
We'll get that into the next one. That's fine. But
I'll ask you as well. Are you happy?
Yeah, man. I think this week alone, I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy. I've had certain worries recently about, like, I've just bought a place, as you know, and hey, financial.
Yeah, expensive, yeah.
Brother, oh my God, yeah, it's mad. And I'm doing it on my own, so this is a lot.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I'm happy because I have my own space, etc. But this is a whole new world. And you know, you have these conversations before about what to expect and you know, what you would end up paying for, but it doesn't sink in until it really fucking happens. And I'm just like, I'm just trying to learn that process, change, sort of adapt my life to living under these parameters, right? Yeah. I'm just finding that a little bit difficult at the moment, which is fine. It's just a process. But I have had some nights where I've just gone, man, this is tight. Do you know what I mean? But it is what it is, and I think, you know.
But I remember, I think we met up a couple of months ago, didn't we, in Bushy Park? Yeah. And I think that's when you were first sort of telling me about it. But it happened quick. For me, it happened quick because obviously you've been going through the process for however long. But from when you told me to when you moved in was like, holy shit, that was quick. Yeah. Like, it was almost like instant.
Well, it was from February. I found that place in February, and then I was doing the whole process up until July the 20th. Yeah. So
that's for, obviously we're friends, but obviously I went through a lot of shit where I just wasn't contacting anybody. So I had quite a few months where it was just dead, like not talking to anybody. So I think that's where a lot of things get lost. But I think from when you told me to when you moved in was very quick. And I was like, holy shit. and even I said to you the other day, like, there are times where I think, oh, I hope he's all right. Yeah. Because it's easy to say I've bought a place, but then it's another thing, as you said, now you're on your own. Now you've got to pay your own bills. If you're not managing your money properly, that's on you.
100%.
You know what I mean? You know,
100%.
I know you have your parents and you have family and friends and all that stuff.
If ever I need help, but yeah.
But it's about learning to be on your own too.
You have to find your own process, yeah.
That's, you know, that's difficult for anybody.
And I feel like the only way that you can do that is just being in the situation.
I agree. Yeah. I think you have to just get into it. And I think, as I said to you, you've made the right choice. You're now on the property ladder. Yeah. You know? Yeah. There's no mistake in that. The only thing I did say to you was, worst time you could have done it. Inflation, everything going up.
Trust
Madness.
Me. Absolutely.
You chose the complete wrong time.
Yeah.
But listen.
The government were just waiting for me. Like, is he going to do?
As soon as he signs, we're whacking it up to 10%.
Heating bills. Yeah. Here we go.
But no, I feel like, you've made a great step, man.
Thank you, man.
You know.
Thank you, man. Yeah. But I would say I'm happy. We'll see what the...
I think there's always room for more happiness.
Oh, mate.
Always.
Listen, I haven't got a Lamborghini yet.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
Do you know what? That's something, you know, we can talk about on another day. But like even things like that doesn't fascinate me. No. Like I love like all this equipment. I'd much rather all that than a flash car. Yeah. Like I've never.
It's because you can utilize this for something. Though,
I've just never been into like cars and flash clothes and stuff. Never been into it.
Not really done the clothes thing.
Don't know why. Like, but just I never was. You know. But no, in terms of happiness, man, I'm happy. Like, good. But we could always be happier. Yeah. You know, I think there's loads of things I'd want to do with my family that I'm not doing. That would make 100%. Me happy. You know.
There is.
Because I think a lot of you being happy is especially when you have kids and stuff, is if they're happy, you're happy. I mean, a lot of that ties into it, you know. Yeah.
My mum said that to me recently. I had a really bad day at work, and I went to visit mum and dad, and I was just there. And I was just in my mood, man. And I saw mum was down. I said, Mum, you all right? She goes, no, yeah, I'm okay. Are you sure? And then she said, as a parent, you're only going to be as happy as your saddest child. Yeah. Which that for me was like, that's deep. Wow. I was like, and then I thought, well, I better pick myself up, man. I don't want mum being there. Do you know what I mean? I thought, oh shit.
But that makes sense. That's a great saying, man.
Yeah, you're only as happy as your saddest child. So, yeah, crazy. But anyway, guys, that has been the first episode today. So after this one, I mean, we're rebranding.
We're gonna have a discussion, man. We're gonna have a discussion.
Different face. Well, not different faces.
I just think it's got to be now more linked to me and you. Whereas the Chosen podcast was chosen. It was chosen because it was chosen. And it was like it was never. And we had this discussion before we started. It was never. This is my podcast and it's chosen. It was like. Everything's together. We're doing everything. It's just that was the only name I could come up with. And now I just think we need to go in a different direction. Yeah, cool. We need something that is more just both of us, you know.
I'm down for that, yeah.
So yeah, I think that's what we do.
Sweet. All right, guys. Well, if you've liked this episode, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And it's goodbye from me, and I'll see you next time.
And it's a goodbye from me, and I appreciate you for watching.
Take care, guys.
Take it easy.